Hey Grace, hey Kamari, hey Miss Sunbomb. I did my online presentation on chapter 6.2, which is technology supports for special needs in content areas. This is my little intro. I'll show you the video in a second, but it talks about how important it is as future educators that we provide access to technology that will ensure our students who have disabilities equal access to education and the ability for them to achieve their academic goals. This video provides an example of a student who suffers from, I believe, a learning disability or from special needs. And he used some of the technology we're going to talk about in a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you. And fair warning, these videos might be more than one because Screencast-O-Matic only allows me to record for 15 minutes. Otherwise, I have to pay.
I presented this in front of 300 teachers and principals.
A student's story. Before the laptops, I couldn't get my ideas out. Sometimes my brain worked faster than my hands could write it. Now, I feel like I can get most of my ideas written down and I don't have to have someone help me do it. I think some teachers think students who have trouble reading or writing are dumb or lazy. I am not dumb or lazy.
About 4 years ago, we started to introduce technology into our classrooms as a means to creating a more inclusive learning environment within our classrooms. Our hope at that time was that we could create a classroom setting where all kids could experience success academically.
Reading and writing has changed significantly in the 21st century compared to how it was in the past. Previously, students to acquire information had to read the textbook. That could be a barrier to learning for a lot of students, whether they had dyslexia or a learning disability. They couldn't gain or gather the information in that method. The technology provides an opportunity for students to have those barriers to reading removed. So we provide them with things like text-to-speech, where they can listen to the text rather than having to read it.
They will build another room.
Same thing goes for writing. Technology, we have opportunities for students to record their voice where they speak and the text is then typed for them. So again, reducing the barriers to reading and writing that students previously may have faced in the past.
Parents, there was a little bit of resistance at the beginning to technology, some concerns expressed about, are we no longer teaching kids to read and write? If they're using the computer to read, then they're not going to learn to read. We've seen certainly our reading results improve over the past 3 or 4 years, and they become really independent, confident learners because they're not always dependent on another student or another adult to read and write, or to be pulled out of the classroom to have a scribe or a reader. They can work independently within their classroom.
One of the ways that I knew that having the technology in my class was really making a big impact was having one of my parents come and say that her child wanted to come to school. He comes home and he's so excited and he said, "Mom, I wrote." And you know what? I did it with a pencil, because he had been so confident using the technology that he had chosen one day to try and write with a pencil to see if he could do it. And he had gained so much confidence and he had gained so much vocabulary and spelling ability from using the software that it overflowed into his writing without the software.
I see these technologies as leveling the playing field, because the kids with learning disabilities are starting off behind everybody else. Yes, they do need to learn to read, and it doesn't replace reading instruction, but in certain situations when I'm assessing their science skill, it's not fair to penalize them for their reading ability.
It starts off with what does the school have in terms of technology. We have to work from where they're at. So I would look at what type of devices are available and what can we add to those devices to support the students in the classroom. For many of the tools that I recommend, they are on the device already, or they can be easily purchased and installed.
I played in my first soccer game.
And often students are amazing with technology, and they pick up the technology quite a lot faster than we do, right? Because they're born with it.
One of the challenges that we're facing is continuity in programming. So we look at our grade 6 students who have become very successful with particularly tools like text-to-speech and speech-to-text. And how can we support those students and the schools where they will be attending next year in ensuring that they can continue to experience that success?
We would give somebody with bad eyesight glasses, and we need to give them the tools that they need to be successful.
When kids are accomplishing things and feeling success, the whole atmosphere in your school is full of excitement. And when they're able to put things on the bulletin board that they've produced themselves, when I haven't had to scribe, I haven't had to do anything, and they get to put that up on the walls for people to see, there's that sense of pride, of success, and it's an atmosphere in the school. You can feel it in their school.
When a student who was not able to read, never read for pleasure, begins to read and begins to identify as a reader, we know that we've been successful.
All right, so that was a good little video. So now we're going to move on to examples of the technology support. So we have word processing, concept mapping, word prediction, text-to-speech programs, talking spell check, recorded books, electronic text, scan/read systems, high interest, low level books, digital books, and iBooks. The first one we're going to talk about is word processing. This can assist with writing. Word processing helps students who have difficulty holding a pencil or those with poor motor skills create legible documents. Now, word processing is kind of an older term. It's now called Google Docs, Microsoft Word. Those are all word processing systems that we would be familiar with. And as you can see in the picture, this is a special needs student using a word processor. These are some examples of word processors. So to the right, you'll see the examples, and to the left, you'll see some icons that you can use to identify them. So some examples of word processors would be Microsoft Word, WordPad, Lotus Word Pro, Notepad, WordPerfect, which is Windows, and AppleWorks, which is Mac. So on the left, you'll see that WordPad, that's their icon. And as you can see, Lotus Word Pro probably isn't used anymore, but this is the 1997 version icon. Our second technology would be concept mapping, which can assist with writing. It can help students organize their thoughts, structure their thinking visually by seeing how abstract ideas are connected. It really just helps the whole writing process. And I think students who don't have special needs would benefit this from a different standpoint, but it'll still benefit them. So these are some examples of concept mapping software. So we have ClickUp, MindMeister, and Microsoft Visio. And I provided some pictures that will help you identify each software app. I thought they were really cool because you don't even have to use them strictly for concept mapping. You can organize your classes, your content area, everything. Next, we have word prediction. and these types of software can assist with writing. So these softwares assist students who are physically impaired by reducing their number of keystrokes, and it can help with students who have learning disabilities avoid spelling errors. So to the right, you'll see a picture, and this is an example of a word prediction. And as you can see, the next word she's about to type, it predicts it for her in the little drop-down list. Our next technology is text-to-speech. This can assist with reading and writing. So this provides auditory feedback for students who have a learning disability to listen to what they have written. It also can help students who are visually impaired, and you can switch it to be speech to text so students can capture their thoughts without typing. And I'm going to show a little video that will give you an example of what text-to-speech is, and it'll talk about UDL and how you can incorporate it into your lessons.
Text-to-speech is an assistive technology that reads the text on a screen out loud and provides both visual and audio access.
Many students benefit from text-to-speech, including students with cognitive and learning disabilities, students with processing disorders and ADHD, students with memory and focusing problems, and students who struggle with reading, writing, and spelling. Most text-to-speech applications provide visual highlighting in sync with the audio, and this can help students focus and increase comprehension.
The polite society of a civilized town, that astonishment soon departed upon taking my first daylight stroll through the streets of New Bedford.
Other benefits include improved word recognition and vocabulary development. Students using text-to-speech may choose more challenging content and may stick with it longer, and students using text-to-speech report feeling more independent and able to complete tasks at a similar rate as their peers. Text-to-speech is a universal design for learning strategy that provides multiple means of accessing content and benefits many diverse learners. Many cell phones and tablets, desktop computers, and laptops have built-in text-to-speech tools that students can use without requiring additional software. Let's take a look at some of the built-in text-to-speech tools. Macs, iPhones, and iPads have built-in text-to-speech with Speak Selection and Speak Screen, which can be turned on in the accessibility settings. On an iPad or iPhone, go to Settings, Accessibility, and select Spoken Content. Use the slider bar to turn on Speak Selection or Speak Screen. You can select from multiple voices.
Hello, my name is Nikki.
Adjust the speaking rate.
Speak Selection reads selected content. Speak Selection reads selected content.
And add custom pronunciations if you need to. Chromebooks have built-in text-to-speech that can be turned on in the accessibility settings. Under Text-to-Speech, turn on Enable Select to Speak. Microsoft Word has the Read Aloud Text-to-Speech option on the toolbar. To turn this on, go to Review and select Read Aloud. Press play to turn on text-to-speech with synchronized highlighting.
Text-to-speech is a type of assistive technology that reads digital text aloud.
Press the pause button to turn it off. In the settings options, you can change the reading speed and voice selection. Office 365 users can access the Immersive Reader, which provides text-to-speech highlighting along with additional learning tools like line spacing and page color to improve scanning and ease eye strain. iBooks and Kindle ebook readers also include text-to-speech capability with highlighting.